There we go. Welcome, everybody. So, we're going to pick up where we left off on lesson 7, which is our conditionals practice, where we're actually engaging now more directly with the code and adding things and making predictions and stuff like that. So, again, these are the skills that we are practicing: debugging, describing the problem, hunting for bugs, trying solutions, and making sure that we're making very small changes before we verify if it's fixed the problem or not. And then documenting through like comments and such to keep track of what we've done, the changes we've made. And um, as we move on to the other uh, examples, the puzzles, we're going to watch out for syntax errors and logic errors. So if you remember, syntax errors are the ones that are more likely to show up in the actual coding environment. So the little yellow triangle uh, indicates a warning that something might be wrong. And the red square means that something's definitely wrong. And it tries to identify exactly where in the code those problems are occurring. So that's going to be really helpful to us when we're catching syntax errors. Logic errors are a little bit more tricky because um, the coding environment will not catch them because they're not problems with typing, like how the code is typed. Like it's not like a typo or a missing semicolon, but it's just that your program's running, but it's not outputting the stuff that you anticipated. And so that can be a little bit hard to detect. Logic, it's a smart error. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so um, let's go ahead and use this link here to get where we need to go. So this link actually puts us in at puzzle number 2, which we've done already. We've gone and done 2, 3, and 4. And we're gonna now head on over to puzzle number 5. And if you missed those initial 3, you can use the video recording that I put in Google Classroom to catch up on those. Okay, so let's get started. Let's tackle number 5. So this one has an application where there's a nice little star and it changes colors based on the number of clicks. So let's see, we want to add clicks to the watcher window. Remember the watcher window? So down here, you've got this nice little area. Let me make it larger. Let me maybe zoom in a little. Okay, so we got this watcher area and we can put the name of any variable we want. They want us to watch the clicks variable. So let's go ahead and type that in. And then I'm going to press that plus button. Right now it's undefined because my program is not running yet. And let's go ahead and let's just see what it does right now before we make any changes. So I'm going to go ahead and click run. And there's a syntax error, so nothing's going to happen. Okay. That syntax error is because we've got an if that doesn't have a condition inside of it. It doesn't have a Boolean expression in it yet. So let's see, what do we want to put in here? It says add a Boolean expression to the if statement that checks if there are 5 or more clicks. So in the chat or on your microphone, can you tell me the Boolean expression that would check for that? If there are 5 or more clicks, how would I write that? And notice that we do have a variable called clicks here that we could use in that expression. How would you write that in JavaScript? Yeah, I see in the chat here, clicks is greater than or equal to 5. So let me go ahead and paste that in on line 11. I'm going to put that right in between the parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to check to see if that variable called clicks is greater than or equal to 5. And let's go ahead and now we're going to go ahead and reset this app. We're going to run it. Right now in the watcher, you'll see that the click variable is not available, and that's because we haven't done anything. So let's go ahead and click. No, actually, that's kind of, oh, what did I do wrong? What did I put here? And what do I have here? I need to put clicks with an S. That's silly. Okay, let's go ahead and put the correct variable name in there. Add that in, reset it. So when I run it, it should initialize to 0 because of line number 2 here. And then as I click on the star, you'll see that the variable is going to count up. It is always the little things. Exactly. That was silly. Okay, so let's try clicking at least 5 times. So 3, 4, 5. So now you'll notice the behavior that the star turns red if there are 5 or more. If I can keep clicking, it'll be red. Um, yeah, so let's see. The code that does that is right here, right? So we added in this conditional, this Boolean expression to check to see if clicks is greater than or equal to 5. And if it was true, this gets run, which basically sets the property of our star element, this guy right here. It'll set the icon color to red, and that's why it changes. And so it's going to stay red because we can't subtract any clicks, right? We can't go back in time. We can do that if we reset it, I guess. So again, it'll be black as long as that number is not 5 or more. But the moment we get to 5 or more, it's going to turn red. Awesome. Cool. Let's see. Is there anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It just says that you'll be stuck in text mode until you debug the problems in the code. So basically, if I didn't fix this, if I didn't put a conditional here, if I tried to go back into block mode, it's going to say, you've got an error in your program. You need to fix it before you go back to blocks. So as soon as I put that Boolean expression in there, notice that error went away. And if I wanted to, I could go back to block mode. Okay. So if your program has any errors in it, you will not be able to toggle back to blocks. All right, so that's all for that one. Let me know if you have any questions in the chat or on the microphone. But we're done with this one, so I'm going to click on finish. Bam. All right, let's see. We might be able to get maybe like 1 or 2 more done since we have a short class today. Okay, let's take a look at this one. This one looks pretty much like the last one, but now we want to add code to this project so that the star changes colors based on the number of clicks. So not just red, but let's see, it's going to be black if it's 0, red if it's 1 through 4, 1 to 4 clicks, and then orange if it's 5 or more. So let's see. Right now, we just have that original code that we had that changes it to red if it's this actually has greater than 5, or no, less than 5. Okay. So it is a little different. So let's run this. It's gonna be black, but as soon as I click here, it should be red. Yeah, because it's less than 5. And then when it's not less than 5, it doesn't change because there's no code to accommodate that. So if we look at the little animated GIF right here, it's going to show us how to create an else. So if I go to block mode, I can click on that. It's very handy that it does that for us. And what I actually want to do is go back to text mode because I want us to get a little bit more used to seeing that. So now what's happening here? Let's see. So it starts off as black because that's how it's set in the whatchamacallit, the design mode, right? If I go in, oh, I can't go into design mode to show you. But basically it starts off as black when the program runs. And it's only going to check the number of clicks on this event, right? The event is clicking on the star. So it's not going to check the number of clicks until I click on it the first time. So that means when it's 0, it's going to stay black because I haven't done the click event yet. When I do the click event, it's going to check the number of clicks, which is 1. 1 is less than 5, so it's going to turn it into a red star instead of a black star. Now, you might be thinking, hey, I need to check another condition, a Boolean expression to check to see if it's 5 or more. But actually, we don't have to put that condition. We could just use an else because we know that if it's not less than 5, it's got to be 5 or more. So we could just use an else, which is going to be activated when this is false. I hope that makes sense. So rather than writing clicks is greater than or equal to 5, I'm just going to use this else. And then I'm going to set the property. I'm going to set the star's icon color to orange. And we could just type in orange here. If you're in block mode, you could click here and there's some pre-listed colors, but notice that orange is not in there. But the same thing, you could do the same thing. You just type in orange. Notice that the colors are in quotes. They are strings. Okay. So if my thinking is correct, once I get to 5 or more clicks, I should see the star turn orange. Let's see what happens. So I'm running it. It's a black star. As soon as I click, it's going to check the number of clicks. Right now it's 1, which is less than 5, so it's going to turn red. If I get to 5 or more, though, we're going to see an orange star. Because this now becomes false, we move over into the else by default, and we get that orange color. And it's going to stay orange for the rest of this run because it's always going to be 5 or more at this point. Cool. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can do maybe one more. Let me finish this. Let's see what we got. So it looks like, oh, actually, you know what? I would love for you all to give this a try on your own, and then we can come back to this on Tuesday. Because this is basically the same thing, except you're going to add in so many more options. So basically, it's going to be this kind of the same as the last one. It's going to be 0 if it's black, but the moment it gets to a non-zero number, it's going to have to check to see what value it is. So 1 through 4 is going to be red. Let's see what it does right now. Okay, so that's already implemented for you. It checks to see if the clicks is less than 5. And then right now it has an else, so that means, oh, it has another one. If it's less than 10, it's going to be orange. And then otherwise, so the moment you get to 10 or more, it's going to be pink. But you want to change this. You want to add in else ifs. So you want to add in a bunch of different options, check for these number ranges. And so like if it's 10 through 14, you want to change it to yellow. 15 to 19, you're going to change it to green. 20 to 24, you're going to change it to blue. 25 through 29, you're going to change it to violet. And again, you could just type in these color names as a string here. And you're going to use that same set property, star, icon color, and then just change the color here. So do your best to follow this animated GIF to add on a bunch of else ifs for this. Yeah, so I think it'll be really good for you to practice by giving that a good try. And then on Tuesday, we can go over it and see how you did. I'm going to go back to the Pear Deck at this point to wrap up class. And blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's wrap things up. So for homework, go back and watch the recordings from either, if you haven't done it yet, from last class and today's class, and make sure that you have completed up to number 6 in our case, but go ahead and give 7 a try. So let me go ahead and add that to the screen. So make sure that you've completed up to number 6. Try number 7. on your own. And then we'll go over that next time. Um, the reason why I want you to do 2 through 6 is I don't want you to fall too far behind since we've already done these in class. Uh, make sure that you keep up with the pace. Any questions right now about that? So this recording will be posted into Google Classroom by the end of the day. Stop recording.